Welcome everybody. This is Srinivas Balalat from GL Communications. Today I am going to conduct a webinar on ED137 VoIP emulation and analysis for air traffic management. First I'll start with the basic operation of two different calls in this domain, air traffic management. The first one is the radio call. This is basically between a controller who is sitting in the controlling room will be talking to the pilot in the aircraft. So here in this case the call will be established once for all, and this will be between the controller working position and the ground radio station. So whenever controller wants to talk to the pilot, he will press his PTT button and start talking. So when he is done with that one, he will release the PTT button. Okay. Similarly, pilot, whenever he wants to interact with the controller, he will press a button and the receiver will receive this signal, and internally this GRS will generate the squall signal towards the controller. Okay, this is how the communications happens in the radio calls. The other call type is the telephone call. Basically, this is a normal call between two users. For example, this is a basically call between two controllers, or it could be with multiple controllers, but there is no radio involved here. So one controller is calling to the other controller, and these calls are instantaneous. I mean, whenever they want to talk, they'll just make the call, and these are the normal calls. So now I'll jump on to the traditional radio infrastructure overview. So here this is the voice communication system which acts as an interface for the controller working position here, and there is a recorder which records all the voice communications happening on the calls, and there is a VCS which maintains and configures this voice communication system. On the other end, VCS will be connected to a ground radio station, and it could be connected to a remote radio controller equipment which is controlling a set of radios, and these radios can be either transmitters or receivers or transreceivers. Okay, so basically in the beginning the communication between this VCS and GRS was using the analog lease lines, 4 wire and 6 wire, and slowly they migrated towards the 64 kbps and 2 mbps digital lease lines, and there have been country specific protocols for the communication between VCS and ground radio stations. Next, I will move on to the traditional telephone infrastructure overview. In this case, the controllers will be talking to another controller at a remote site or at another location. So the communication is between two VCS. Okay, and initially the communication started with all local battery, the 2 wire and 4 wire. Then they moved on to these analog lease lines, and now it has further moved on to the 64 kbps lease lines or the E1 CAS. And again, there is a country specific protocols. For example, in case of US, there are SS1 and SS4 signaling is used. Whereas all other things like ATSR2, ATSQSIG are used in the Europe mostly. Now they are slowly migrating to the new technology, that is VoIP, and the advantage of moving towards VoIP is like this VoIP provides the convergence of voice and data into one multimedia network. Okay, and interoperability is provided across equipments manufactured by different vendors, because everyone will have to follow the same specification defined by the EUROCAE, and scalability, the systems can be upgraded very quickly and with very low cost, and especially the migrating can happen at a very low cost, and also maintenance will be at a low cost, and the bandwidth utilization is very effective in case of VoIP. So next one we'll introduce this EUROCAE and WG67 groups. So EUROCAE is a European organization for civil aviation equipment. So this is a non-profit making organization established in 1963, And Eurokai is tasked to standardize the aviation sector, the different airborne and ground system equipments, and also come up with the documents which act as a standards for defining any equipment in the air traffic control. And basically Eurokai forms working groups which are committees of experts in these fields who do the voluntary job to define these standards. Now I'll explain about the working group 67, and this working group 67 is tasked to develop ED documents related to WIPE for ATM. Okay, and actually this group analyzed all the situations regarding operational and technical air to ground and ground to ground ATM WISE systems with respect to WIPE. Okay, and further they developed the specifications for WIPE for ATM for both air to ground and ground to ground communications. Now we'll talk about the ED 137B standard, which is the current standard for this WIPE for ATM. Okay, this was defined by the WG67 group, and it was released in January 2012. And this comes in 5 volumes. The first one is the radio, that defines the interface for radio calls. Second one is the telephone, defines the interface for telephone calls. And third one is a European legacy telephone internet working. So this is basically internet working between the latest WIPE technology and the traditional European equipments which run on the analog or digital lease lines kind of thing. And the fourth one is a recording interface, which will define the interface for recording all the voice communications happening in the ATM. And the fifth one is the supervision. This is to supervise the air traffic network and derive the statistics of the calls. So next one is a next generation network architecture for WIPE in air traffic management. So here you can see the controllers are there, and they have been connected through this IP gateway to the ground radio station or WIPE radio station. This WIPE radio station, ground radio station, both are same, but in US it is used as a WIPE radio station or WIPE radio simulator, and that will be connected through this radio media gateways. And this radio media gateways can also be connected to the TDM and analog radio stations. And in the below we are showing this traditional voice communication system, which is based on the TDM technology. So we need a WIPE gateway for the interoperability purpose. And the next one is GL solution for testing next generation air traffic management over WIPE. So what are our solutions? The first one is the radio call simulation, that is done using our MAPS ED137 radio. And next one is telephone call simulation, that is achieved using our MAPS ED137 telephone product. These are both emulators. And the next part is analysis part, wherein we have two products. One is packet scan, and other one is the net surveyor web. So packet scan is similar to Wireshark, but it comes with a lot of added advantages. Basically, like it performs all the voice quality measurements and a lot of other graphical analysis. And this can also act as a probe, and it can capture the calls and send call detail records to a centralized database, and that centralized database can be queried using our net surveyor web application to analyze the calls stored in the database. And this is one more GL solution for critical time delay measurements in air traffic control. Basically, the moment a controller presses the PTT and when exactly the PTT RTP packet with PTT bit set is generated is a critical measurement, and that can be measured using our audio analyzer and packet analyzer. These audio and packet analyzer are basically our products called VCOD probe and packet expert. This is the packet analyzer. So basically these two products are used to measure that delay, and delay between the moment user presses the PTT and when exactly the RTP packet with the PTT bit is generated. Both products are capable of generating event-driven triggers so that it can synchronize the other instruments. And vCode is capable of generating TTL triggers based on PTT activation. Packet expert can generate the TTL triggers once filtered packet is detected, packet of interest is detected. The next slide is about MAPS ED137 compliance with real-time equipment vendors. We have done the conformance testing and performed on the protocol stack, and we have also performed the interoperability test with multiple GRS and VCS vendors in the market. To name some of them, Rhodes, Jordan and Parker, and there are still more to come in this. Now this is the first product. This is the MAPS ED137 radio emulator, and it is basically a software only lightweight product, and it is easy to use. Even the technicians can use it very comfortably, and it runs on Windows based laptops, desktops or tablets. Now we are trying to show how exactly it can be used in the actual radio call setup. So here we are using two MAPS ED137 radios to simulate the controller working positions, and this is connected to one more MAPS ED137 radio that is acting as a ground radio station. So all of them are connected to a IP cloud. Okay. So basically it emulates ED137 1B radio interface defined by this WG67, and it emulates the CWP and GRS endpoints. It supports all the normal and emergency radio sessions and the PTT types, and also all the SIP headers and mandatory and optional SDP parameters defined as per this ED137 1B document. Basically, these SDP parameters include signaling information to the radio controlling, and it is portable, easy to configure and used during the in-field installations, testing and commissioning by the experts or the technicians. We can even generate hundreds of bulk calls using our emulators to generate the load and do the performance testing on the either on the network under test or on the end equipments. So this next slide shows configuration of one of the controller working positions. So these are a few of the important parameters that we can configure. PTT type, these are the several PTT types defined by the specification. Radio call types can be radio idle, receive only, coupling like this. And the connection mode can be either TX, RX, or it can do both TX and RX. So you can see all ED137 parameters listed here. For each controller working position, we can configure these parameters, which will be reflected once the call is established. Next, I'll move to the call generation window, wherein we have established a call here, and you can see a keep PTT button here. So if user wants to talk to the GRS, he will just press the key PTT button here, and it can simulate all the additional header extension, RTP header extensions like climax time delay, RSSI signal quality index, and radio remote control header extensions. So apart from this, we can select a call and apply these events. So basically these events are like, this is the radio remote control bits that we are going to issue to the radio, and the next one is PTT summation bit, and we can terminate that call or we can apply impairments. So basically these are packet loss, packet effects, or introducing latency. And I can even play the voice coming on the call using this by clicking on this speaker button. I can even stop the R2S transmission in between. So for each call we are providing the call graph with all the events listed on the call graph as and when they happen, along with the timestamp. So here we are showing one of the invite message, a decode of one of the invite message that is carrying all these SIP and SDP parameters related to ED137. So we can set PTT on and off, squelch on and off, PTT mute and summation bits. Next one is the traffic options. Basically we support A-law, U-law and G729 codecs recommended in the specification. We can do send and receive live speech. We can playback pre-recorded files. We can transmit digits, tones, and the product runs on both IPv4 and v6, and we support both UDP and TCP transports. And we can also apply the differentiated service code points for both signaling and voice. Another important feature is, as I said earlier, we can apply impairments to the RTP traffic that is being generated. We can introduce packet loss in the generated traffic, or we can introduce latency. So this will help in analyzing how exactly the end system behaves, or how the network under test behaves.
So when you say you can inject delay and all those things, is that with the same radio emulator tool, or is that with a separate tool?
Yeah, it is with a separator tool. To measure all the delays and all, we have other product like packet analysis and audio analysis. Okay, thank you. The next product is MAPS ED137 telephone emulator. So again, it is a software based, lightweight, and it runs on all the Windows based laptops, desktops, or the tablets. So this will basically simulate telephone calls. So here we are showing the typical diagrams with how our products can simulate the endpoints here. So basically telephone calls are between the controllers. Here you can see MAPS ED137 telephone is simulating all these controller working positions, and emulates as per the ED137 2B telephone interface, and it simulates all the CWP endpoints. In telephone actually there are 8 call types defined, and we support all of them. Basically, to name few of them, it is instantaneous access call or a priority IDA calls. Again, we support all the SIP headers and mandatory SDP parameters here, and we can even do the authentication with proxy and registers. And one more important feature is when the call is incoming, we can forcibly reject that call using different SIP codes. So this is to test how the other end or the device under test will behave in case if we forcefully reject the call. Next one lists out all the 8 different call types defined in this telephone interface. So you can see here we have displayed a few of the graphs here. Call type is indicated within the graph, and this is the call generation window wherein I have established one telephone call. So you can see the graph here, and again the message decode. On this selected call we can send the traffic or impair that generated traffic, or we can play back the incoming or incoming voice on the call using these buttons. So with that we are done with our second product, that is a telephone emulator. So this is all about the emulation part. Now we'll move towards the air traffic monitoring solutions, wherein we have 2 products. One is packet scan. As I said earlier, this is similar to Wireshark but has a very rich features. Basically we provide MOS scores, all the call quality statistics, and there is also graphical analysis of complete details of the call. So this is one typical network diagram wherein this packet scan is listening on these 2 IP clouds, and it is trying to capture all the VoIP calls. Basically these are A to ground or ground to ground calls. So the packet scan is connected to a mirror port here. This is a switch, and it is connected to a mirror port, and this will capture all the traffic that is going through this switch, and it will segregate the calls, and then performs all the measurements. Then it will send call detail records to a centralized database located at some central place. Later on, using our net surveyor web, we can query the database and analyze the calls stored in the database, both in real time and in historical data analysis. So I'll begin with the first analysis product, that is packet scan. It is an all IP monitoring software. Okay, so this is the main page of this product. So here you can see there is a summary view displaying all the captured frames. There is a SIP calls, RTP calls, and all this decode of each of the captured frames. So this one I want to highlight here. So it can decode the extension header, RTP extension header defined by the Eurokai specification. So you can see here PTT type, squelch, PTT ID, PTT mute, summation bits displayed here. Next one is the packet data analysis view of the same product. So here in the previous slide you saw all the frames captured. Now we are in this view we are segregating them into calls. Okay, so you can see there are 4 calls with different codecs, ALA, ULA, G729, and it provides the complete call graphs and also the message decodes here. The other added features, basically here the most important features are it performs the MOS and R factor measurements on the call. It also provides packet loss, average delay and jitter statistics on each call in each direction. It can also perform the recording and playback of voice on the call. So we can record the voice that has happened on the call, or we can play it live. And this packet scan can work in real time or it can work in offline, and we can read even the Wireshark format traces in this tool. So next one is a Net Survey Web. So this is actually a web-based application, and wherein it will be querying to the central database, which has a collection of all the CDRs sent by these probes located in different geographical locations, which will be monitoring the networks in those geographical locations. Okay, it is scalable and flexible. It can be used to view the real-time or historical data, and multi-users are supported here. So it provides all the complete details at a remote location. Here we are displaying the reports that are generated in our Net Survey Web. You can see the conversational MOS, average packet loss graph, and the failure calls. So this is on the complete data that is stored in our database. You can see here desirable CMOS, acceptable CMOS. These are reach connection. These are categorized based upon the MOS scores that scale from 1 to 5. So with 4 to 5 becoming is the desirable MOS, and 3 to 4 is a acceptable MOS kind of thing, and not recommended is something less than 2. And here we are displaying the report using the packet loss percentage that has happened on the calls. This call failure cause will list out all the groups of categorize the SIP call failures into groups like busy calls, no answer calls, or unknown number kind of thing. So if we click on these things, we'll list out all the we'll filter out those calls and list them in the page. And this is the second session request delay. So wherein this exactly what it means is the time delay between the invite and the 200 OK. So that is also critical in this A to ground calls. So applications of these products: on-field testing and troubleshooting by technicians. So in the field installation, system configuration and commissioning. Functionality testing of the ATM systems can be performed. We can even do the load testing and performance testing. We can analyze A to ground and ground to calls using using packet scan and collect MOS, packet loss, and jitter statistics, which are very important measurements for the measurements in case of this air traffic management. Because the air traffic management has a critical communication here. So maintaining the quality is one of the most important aspect. So there is a centralized monitoring of air traffic, and there is we can view the data in real time, or we can analyze the historical data also. So next, I'll proceed with the live demo of our products that I have discussed here. So basically, this test setup is something like this. In the first test, it is like the MAPS ED137 radio, which is simulating a radio call. One of the maps is acting as a controller working position, and the other one is acting as a ground radio station. So these are the IP addresses. So CWP is at 1.52 and GRS is at 1.59. Similarly, to simulate telephone calls, I am using the same. I am using MAPS ED137 telephone acting as one CWP, and there is another CWP. Now I'll start the live demo.
Let's begin with the live demo of our product. Now first I will start with the radio call emulation using our MAPS ED137 radio. Now I am launching this MAPS ED137 radio. Here we can select the node that we want to emulate, CWP or GRS. Right now I will select it as a CWP. Now I'll start the test bed. I'll go to the profile editor. Here we'll be configuring the different controller working positions, which I can even refer it as a end nodes. Can create n number of end nodes here. For each end user, we can prepare this, we can configure the profile. So here basically I would like to highlight a few of the important fields. So first one is the contact address. This is the SIP contact address, and address of record is nothing but the from address, and this is the to address. Okay, so coming to the ED137 parameters, you can see here all these ED137 parameters that will be carried either in the SIP body or the SDP body are listed out here. We can configure each of these parameters. So basically some of the important types are like the PTT types, the different PTT types, the radio call emulation types like radio idle, radio TXRX. So this is like for each end user we can set a different value. At the same time we can configure the codecs also here. The supported codecs are ULAW, ALAW and G729. We can even define the traffic, whether I want to talk using the microphone or I want to transmit a pre-recorded file. Can even apply the impairment types. The supported impairment types are packet loss, effect, latency, etc. Now I will configure the other end, that is radio emulator. So here I will select the node as GRS. Again we have to do the similar end node configurations at radio also. I'll go to the profile editor. So here you can see I have configured 10 end users at the radio. So here again the same parameters are there. And on the radio we have different radio types here. Radio can be a transceiver, transmitter, or it can act as a receiver. Okay, so after doing these configurations, again save these configurations. Now we are ready to place the radio calls. I will open the call generation window. Here we need to add an entry. Select the controller working position using which I want to place the call to the radio. To place the call, just click on the start button. Now the call is established. You can see once the call is established, the keep alives are transmitted on both the sides. Now to do the PTT, you can click on this key PTT button. Once you do the key PTT, you can talk using your microphone, or you can do the file transmission also. Now the call is established to the radio. We can press this button to key PTT. So once key PTT is performed, you can see this non-all PTT is going to the radio, and there is a confirmation from the radio. Apart from this, we can also apply other events like I can issue radio remote control command. So you can see here RRC, the RRC bits are displayed here. and there is a confirmation from the RRC. We can do different like PDTS on. I can terminate the call. I can apply the impairments on the outgoing traffic, and I can even play back this call. Now I will move to the other end, that is at the radio. The call is the established call is displayed here, and we can play back voice on this call by clicking on the speaker on button here. Okay. So you can see the voice is getting echoed here. 1 1 2 2 3 3. Now I will demonstrate the different call handling capabilities of the radio. The third call is a coupling call. The coupling call is established now. If there is one more normal coupling call, then that needs to be rejected. So you can see here more than one coupling calls. If there is an emergency coupling call, then the normal coupling call should be terminated. This call should be terminated when I attempt the 10th call. Okay, you can see the reason here. Call preempted for emergency coupling call. Similarly, if the frequency ID does not match, then radio is going to reject the call with 603. Now I will attempt the 6th call, wherein there is a mismatch in the radio access mode. Radio is configured for a receiver, but the call is being made as a radio TXRX with TXRX mode set to TX. Radio can be configured to handle maximum number of sessions. Right now I have configured it for 5U. So it should handle the first 5 calls. If there is the 6th call comes with a normal call type, then it should be rejected. Okay, you can see here max active calls reached. But if a call comes with a emergency, then it will preempt one of the normal calls. The third call has been preempted here. You can see the reason here, call preempted for emergency coupling call. Now I will conclude the radio emulation part. As you have seen, it is very easy to configure and use by the technicians. They can simply place these calls and apply certain events on the calls. A complete detailed call flow is provided along with the message decodes. Now we will begin with our second product, that is MAPS ED137 telephone emulator, which simulates the telephone calls. Again, at the first stage we need to create the CWPs and configure them. We can create multiple CWPs here. One of the important feature is the call type. Telephone interface defines 8 different call types here. We support all of them. Right now I have configured on each CWP, I have configured a different call type. A similar setup is required at the other CWP. Here also I have created 10 CWPs. Now we will come back to the call generation part. Here I will place the first call, that is the instantaneous access call, which needs to be automatically answered immediately. The second call is priority direct indirect access call. Okay, it's a manual call. It needs to be answered at the other end CWP. This is the call reception window. You can see here it is indicating it as an incoming call as ringing. And now either I can accept this call or I can reject this call. For rejection, I can use one of these SIP error codes as defined in the profile. Now I will use a 4XX rejection here. You can see that the call was rejected with the 404 not found. Now I will place a third call. This is a routine tactical DIDA call. I need to answer it at the other end. Accept call. On this connected call, I can send my voice from this one, from the calling side, send traffic. Same thing can be played on the other end. Yeah, you can hear the voice coming back. Hello, 1 1 2 2 3 3. Next two calls are the routine calls. One is general purpose and strategic call. The last three are the position monitoring calls. Out of them, the first one is monitoring call for both air to ground and ground to ground calls happening at the callee side. And the next one is the air to ground monitoring call for air to ground only. And the last one is the ground to ground call. On the other side, we are playing a file which will simulate the A to ground file, so we can hear this one.
Call. This is AG and GG call.
So I'll stop this one. The next one is A to ground call.
This is AG call.
So these are the 8 different call types that are defined in the telephone interface that we are simulating here. And apart from this, maps can be used to place hundreds of bulk calls to generate load on the network or the end devices to do the performance testing. Now we will move on to our third product that is used to monitor and analyze ED137 calls, both air to ground and ground to ground calls. This is similar to Wireshark, but comes with lot of added and valuable features like voice quality measurement, all graphical analysis of the call. This tool can be used to capture the live traffic, or it can also be used to open the offline traces. Right now for this demo, I will open a offline trace. So now you can see the first view is the frame summary view. Here it shows all the captured frames. You can see the SIP frames and RTP frames being displayed here. In the below, we are decoding all these frames, captured frames. For the RTP, you can see here RTP packet is decoded here. With respect to ED137, we are decoding the RTP extension header. You can see all these PTT type, squelch, PTT ID fields displayed here. Now the next, now we'll move on to the packet data analysis part, where we'll show all the calls present in this trace. Right now there are 4 calls with different codecs like ALAW, ULAW and G729. We are listing out all the statistics in the column wise. So you can see here the call quality statistics that are reported on each call, and that too on the each direction. So for the first call, it is a 4.20 is the MOS score, which is very exceptional MOS score. So there is missing packets, duplicate packets, out of sequence packets, average gap, delay and jitters are displayed here. If you select a call, below we are displaying a call graph for the analysis of this call, and you can select this message. It will display the decode of the message on the right side, and again you can see here the keep alive and PTT squelch events happening on the call. Yeah, as we said in the emulation part that we can apply the impairments on the generated traffic. So on this call we have applied a packet loss of 25%. So you can see around 396 packets have been lost, which accumulates around 25% here. Because of that, you can see here the MOS score has been degraded, which is below the acceptable range. And also there is a second call with the 704 packet losses. It is heavily degraded, like the MOS score is 1.47. Apart from these things, I can select a call and play the audio on the call. Now I am playing the audio of this call.
Kite flying is such fun. I do it all day. Mr. Smith lives in St.
Or we can even record the voice on this call. So click on this one. I'll be recording it as a stereo, and I'll open it with a Cool Edit software. You can see the incoming and outgoing traffic here on the call.
I do it all day.
So apart from this, we can save the calls to either PCAP or SDL or PCAP NG or PCAP next generation file formats. We can also read the Wireshark traces. To go further, we can even select a call and go to a detail view, which will give the detailed analysis of the call. So all the captured audio packets are listed on the left side and the right side, that is the incoming and outgoing call. So here in the below for the we are giving details like what is the IP addresses and MOS cores used for this measured on this session. The next one is a gap graph. So here you can see almost the gap is very less here. Yeah, you can see the jitter graph on this call. There is a MOS graph. So you can see that there is a degradation in the MOS core because of the packet loss happened on that call. It has happened on only one direction. We display the wave graph also for the call. So basically this tool provides the complete analysis of the captured call, and at the end if it is connected to the central database, it can send a call detail record to the central database. Further, these can be monitored using our Surveyor web, which helps in real time and historical data analysis. This completes our webinar on GL's solutions for air traffic management. Thank you for staying with us. Now we can move to the question and answer session. If you need any private demos, the detailed demos, you can send us a request to our mail ID info@gl.com. Thank you.
Yeah, any questions?
Okay, I have a question. Is there a possibility to change the pass field in the IP header for quality of service purposes?
You mean differentiated service code points? Yeah, we can apply them. We can apply, we can define a separate value for signaling and media. So by default, as per the specification, it is expedited forwarding for the media. User can select his own value also. He can configure the values.
Okay. And the other question I have is it possible to generate RTSP sessions for recording purposes?
No, yeah, we are working on the recording interface also, wherein that RTSP will be handled. So we are still in the working. We are still working on that one.
Okay. Is there the UDP and also the TCP opportunity for the media type?
Uh, yeah, yeah. For RTP traffic, only UDP is used. TCP is not preferred in the industry at all. But as far as the signaling SIP packets are concerned, we can transmit over UDP and TCP, and we can transmit over even IPv4 and IPv6 also.
Okay, and I have a last question is on the packet scan and the net survivor web tool. Is it always necessary to capture the traffic with packet scan, or is there a possibility to collect the traffic for the web server net tool?
Yeah, you can collect it using the Wireshark, and we can in packet scan we can read all the Wireshark formats.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the question is, does NetSurveyor Web always need Pakistan laptops for data collection, or is there a opportunity? That's for that.
Yeah.
Marcus, are you still here?
Yes,
I'm still here. I asked the question right before.
Okay. Forgive me, I didn't realize that was you speaking.
Yes, it's answered with Wireshark is possible, and also the packet scan tool is possible to capture the traffic for the web application.
No, no. Actually, it is packets can need to send these call detail records.
Okay.
But we can capture, capture and do the offline analysis that are captured using Wireshark. We can use the packet scan to do the comprehensive analysis of the call.
Okay. The question is, how many such packet scan can be used with the net survivor tool? Is there a limit? How many clients you can provide?
It actually depends upon the theoretically there is the no limit on that one. We can handle to some like uh, few numbers, but basically it depends upon the traffic, how much you are trying to capture and all.
There's no theoretical limit.
Yeah.
If you're talking about tens of packets or hundreds of packet scans, that's certainly possible.
Yes.
But it's proposed for detail analysis and not for large scans which run all the day.
No, it can capture infinite time.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, packet scan can capture infinite time.
Srinivas, just wondering if you could maybe clarify. There was one question by the gentleman from the FAA about impairments, and I think you said that an external box is necessary, but MAPS ED137 is capable of generating inherently impairments. Isn't that correct?
Yes, MAPS is capable of generating the impairments on the media traffic that we are generating, and these impairment types can be like packet loss. We can introduce the latency, and we can introduce duplicate and out of order packets. These are the features supported under impairments.
Srinivas, this is Matt. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I think Eduardo's question was more related to the errors that customized errors in the SIP world, like the 403s and so forth. Could you talk about like the architecture just briefly of MAPS and how flexible it is as far as scripting the messages and sort of the state machine and so forth?
MAPS basically stands for message automation and protocol simulation. So it is it has got a very in-depth flexibility in terms of you can have your own template, you can have your own call scenarios, even you can edit how individual message should be. For example, you can for example, what the best example would be like say for example in a SIP call, you can just remove the SIP call ID, which is a mandatory field, and you can just try to place a call and see how the device under test is going to handle that one. So that is the error introduction at the message level. And if I come back to the call level, we can design our own call scenarios using the scripts and see how the other end is going to behave, that one. So this MAPS is basically our common platform to simulate the protocols, wide range of protocols, both in TDM, wireless and IP side.
I have another question. Is there the possibility to generate generic bulk traffic for congestion things other than audio traffic?
You mean the only signaling calls?
No. Other traffic, data traffic, file transfer traffic, bulk traffic, which nothing has to do with the audio things. So that you can produce congestion in the network for such testing purposes.
Yeah, we do have some other products wherein we can do the congestion and all congestion in the IP networks. That is called as the IP net simulator. So as far as this maps is concerned, it only deals with this SIP and RTP protocols. Maps ED137.
Okay.
Yeah, Gallic Martin, I have made you as a presenter. You want Yeah, hi.
Excuse me, we have one question.
Yes, please.
You have possibility to test the other telephony functions like transfer, conference.
Yeah, we are. That is, those are defined in ED137C, and currently we are working on those things. We do have given solutions for Harris on these things. The conference call, multi-destination calls, we have supported them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This tool can it generate the reports about all the tests you have run through and how many have failed, how many have passed?
Yes, it does provide the statistics, okay, about the total calls established active, and also the how many have been passed and failed. Again, I would like to mention here, since the user has a complete control over the script, so he can define the pass fail conditions as per his desires.
Sure, thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you everybody for your cooperation and listening to patiently, for showing interest in our products. Thank you.